Today's video is brought to you by JBS Farms Soaps. Go to Etsy.com and visit JBS Farms with an S on the end, plural, and you'll see my Etsy store of all the different products, and I'm adding more and more different kinds of things. But this month, the soap of the month is Lily of the Valley, and it is a sweet, almost a single note, but I detect, oh, there might be a little there might be a few other flowers in it. This is I changed the mold, figured it out better, and it now has a beveled edge. This particular one is 3.5 ounces, and with this shape I was able to get 2 of the little star flowers in it, but I got a new mold, and so I'm making it asymmetrical now, and this one's 4 ounces, so they kind of are different. So I'm listing them one at a time on Etsy so that it's, you know, the price is more fair. But that's soap of the month because Lily of the Valley is soap for the month of May. Also, I have available again, because it goes in limited quantities, limited edition, the quantities, is the Violet Meteorite soap, and it's mimicking the Guerlain Meteorite Pearls, and it has the lovely light fragrance of violets, which all the Guerlain, especially the powder products, have that luscious, luscious violet smell. And then I have pink on the bottom because they have pink inside their lids and things. So those are the soaps that bring you these videos. Now, on another note, after that luxury of the Guerlain Meteorites, which would save you money instead of buying the Guerlain products for the bazillion-dollar price, but Guerlain is a fabulous product, so we're not going there. We're going to figure out how to save money, and I have I asked my daughter, and she sent me a list, and it's very frugal, so I'm going to do hers after mine. And I've been taking notes for a while now. One of the big things that helped us move into retirement was we had a 401k. And husband, anytime you're offered that, and if your company matches something, at least match them. Like, I think ours matched it. If we put in 3%, they'd put in 3%. So we started with that, and then we just kept throwing in more and more and more. And you learn to live on less when it doesn't come in. If you never see it, and it goes right to your savings account, you'll wind up saving. So we kept throwing it in the 401k, and then the last year or two, he upped it to 25%. So we were putting 25% of his paycheck into the 401k. Now, 2 things. That upped our principal in the 401k dramatically, and we got used to living on less. So when we actually did retire, it wasn't that big of a shock to our system. And we just withdraw like 4% out of the 401k account, and that way, mathematically, supposedly, with interest rates, if they would ever go up, you don't take anything out of the principal. So you let that sit there, and then you live off of the interest, just like rich people. Okay, so then, and this is going to be in random order, because this is as I thought of it. Don't walk store aisles. If you're grocery shopping, or Sephora shopping, oh God, but you have to use mindset, because that's fun. But if you're grocery shopping, don't go up and down all the aisles and go, oh, look at this. If it's not in your cart, you won't buy it, and if it's not in the house, you won't eat it. So if you can get by the cookies, or you can get by the ice cream aisle, or candy, whatever your weakness is, it's not in your cart, and you forget about it a few aisles down. And if it's home and you're, I need that chocolate, and you're ransacking the house, it's not there, so you don't eat it. And eventually I find my sugar craving, it always hits at the same time of day if I'm used to eating like a little sweet after lunch. Every day after lunch I want it. I got bird problems. So if it's not in the cart or if it's not in the house, you won't eat it. So don't walk the store aisles. If I'm doing Sephora, I rarely get there, so I want to walk the aisles, and I smell, and I have my list. That's important, you have to have your list. I have my list, and I look and I smell and I swatch and I sample everything, and sometimes I'll put it in my cart, and then I'll take it out. So before you go through that long line, that gives you time to think whether, do I really need that? Oh gosh, I have that color in another brand, but it's really similar. Because it's gonna sit there. Look at my collection I just showed you. Don't go for every makeup sale. more will come. Sephora is always sending, no, it's not Sephora, it's Ulta. And they always have a coupon, so you can always get a $3.50 coupon from them. You can go print it out on your computer. There will always be another sale. Sephora will always have another friends and family sale or another November sale, whatever they have. So save your list for then. But if you don't need it, if you're just buying, oh, they've got a sale and I have this in my cart that I've been saving. And then I look and I go, God, I can live without that. And so I do that. And sometimes I'll stop some of the notifications because they come in and I get so excited along with them. Small stuff mounts up. That's true. When I first started working in my photography business, I didn't have a whole lot of business. So anytime I made money, I threw it in my savings account that I had to drive to deposit, and they didn't have a checking account at that point. So it made me save it. Once it was put away, it was out of my sight. It was out of my cart. And so I could save. And it mounted up. All of a sudden I got up to, I'll tell you, I've always tried to hang on to $1,000. I had that certificate when I graduated from college. I still had it from my grandparents who passed away before I was born. They gave it to me for college. I hung onto that, and no matter how poor I got, and I got pretty poor, I knew it was there for backup, but I saved it. And so I kept saving it. Then finally when I started making money, I'd plunk a little bit in. I was shocked. I got to $10,000. Savings. And I didn't have kids yet and stuff. I wasn't married or anything. No, I was. Duh. I had kids, but I wasn't interested in stuff for me. I, bought stuff for the farm very frugally and things that we need. We drove the crappiest car for so long, and I didn't even think about it. It was fine. I didn't care. We didn't buy water. We didn't have a cable because they didn't have it in those days. Or satellite, and I'm going to get into this, but monthly bills. So anyway, we lived very frugally, ate a lot off of the farm, had our own beef, and that's big savings if you raise your own food. So instead of flowers, grow food. Ebates and coupons. Ebates is great. I always forget to use it, so I put it on my bar on the top so I'll remember to click it. Still have trouble, but you get, a certain percent back. I mean, 3% is better than a kick in the pants, right? So go for the coupons that you will use. Don't use coupons. Oh, look, I can try this Pop-Tart. You don't need a Pop-Tart. Okay, yard sales. They're great, and only if you buy what you need. I outfitted my little rental cottage all by yard sales or things that people gave me, and it's cute. I kept in my mind what theme I wanted. I wanted 1940s farmhouse, so I have, it's not Fiesta ware, but it's colored china that's from the 30s and 40s. I have a vanity from the 50s. My girlfriend grew up with it, and now I've just got a glass top for it, so it's beautiful. I've repainted it and all that. One of the big ways to save money is to not have monthly subscriptions, such as cell phones, satellite TV. Another one's bottled water, because in the U.S., potable water comes out of the tap. It's other kind of subscription things that you don't really need. We do Netflix, and we do the cheapest possible. We get one disc at a time. We can't download because our internet's too slow. So we get one at a time, and then, then I'm watching TV in between, like Call the Midwife. And if I miss Call the Midwife or Sherlock, I can go to Netflix, because I never did get the last Downton Abbey. Pooh. Least expensive of Netflix. We don't have satellite. We're a little bit out of the range from Seattle, but we get it kinda. So we have an antenna, and it sometimes nothing comes in. Depends on the weather, even. Is there a sunspot, or is the weather too nice, and then we don't get, some of the channels. But it makes you read or do something else. Because how often do you watch all those 100 and some channels? And they're usually reruns. And I get some cooking shows, and I get some garden shows, and I get some National Geographic stuff on PBS. Thank God I get PBS. That would be a problem if I didn't. I have no cell phone, only have a landline. You only need one phone. The landline will always work. Unless something major goes in, if the cable breaks or something, you're out. But, what is it? Well, it's landline, but it's the battery phones, the portable phones. If the power goes out, unless they're charged, they won't work. I don't think they work anyway. My husband used to work for the phone company, but the landline, the hardwired landline would always be way more reliable than any other phone. So, you know, if that's what you're worried about, 911 can find you that way, you know, where cell phones I can't, that kind of thing. But anyway, cell phones cost a lot. And I don't want to talk all the time, and I'm not that important, and I don't have a business. And when I did have a business, I didn't want it because I couldn't write, and I wanted to, you know, I've got an answering machine. If they need me that bad, they can leave a message and I'll call them back if I want to. I don't buy bottled water. Now, I used to buy bottled water for the cottage, you know, a little nicety out there. I put mints out there. But I'm going to quit that because plastic. The photographer from my daughter's wedding, oh, he's an amazing, talented person, posted a video in Midway Island, way in the middle of the Pacific, and these beautiful birds, and they were feeding their babies, and it was beautiful. And then they all started dying, and when they died, they opened, you know, they could see the rotted bird. Plastic. They were full of lids and plastic and crap from the ocean. So I'm cutting way back on plastic. Sorry, Kristen, but people don't dispose things properly. So no bottled water. In the United States, potable water comes out of the tap. It may taste crappy, but if you're poor, you eventually get used to it. My daughter got used to water in Honduras, for God's sake. And of course she went to the hospital I don't know how many times and was very sick, and Peace Corps then gives her, when she leaves, this pill that kills everything. So when she got back to the developed world, they told her then start her pills. Hey, you don't need new clothes until they're needed. You don't need to have 14 pairs of pants and 100 pairs of shoes. You can actually get away with 3 pairs of pants. One for the laundry, one for the drawer, and one on. Just like your sheets. Shop at TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, and all those kind of places. You're getting new things, and you can get very stylish things, especially if you're really thin. She's like a size 4. She can find all kinds of things. Pays $7 for a pair of pants, and they're cute. Okay. Oh, she had another good one, and this isn't her list yet either. Is share your nail polish with your friends. Nail polish lasts a long time, and you know, you don't want to wear the same color forever and ever and ever, and if you don't have a zillion nail polishes, which you shouldn't, go and visit with a friend, have tea, and then bring your nail polishes and have a polish party, and you can trade bottles for a week or 2 weeks or, you know, whatever, and, you know, if the other person wants it, they can ask for it back. You know, you set up all those rules before you make them feel bad. Never buy phone calls. If somebody calls you up and wants to sell you something, never, ever, ever buy it. Tell them, oh, send me something in the mail. Let me see your brochure. You know, and this and that. And usually it's a scam anyway. But I never buy anything on the phone because that's a snap decision. And I need to think if I need it. You know, I keep forgetting the words. Let me think about it. That can help with a lot of decisions and give you some time. Think before you purchase. Don't have your kids whining at you at the store. I want this. And then they start crying and stuff. So if you nip that in the bud and, you know, then they won't, you know, get bigger and whine and want more expensive things. I had a friend that would shop at Nordstrom all the time for her daughter when she was tiny. Well, daughter got into high school and wanted designer clothes. Oh, boy. Besides that, that trains kids for when they're older, you're able to tell yourself no. So it makes the kids stronger. Be the worthy adversary. They feel sheltered and taken care of when you're guiding them and giving them values. And you're not spoiling them. Oh, the other thing is, if they really want it, have them pay for it and save for it and learn how to do that. And they have to learn to put some in savings. My kids had to put half in savings and they could spend half. They hated it. And Jessica, not so much. Blake didn't like that. They got through college with no loans. My son is a couple of years away from his doctorate. No loans. In fact, they pay him to go because he's in science. So, have them learn how to pay for their things right off the bat. You know, they can sweep the floor or, you know, put the dishes in the dishwasher and earn little extra jobs. Oh, I have the Mia head. You don't have to change that every 3 months or every 6 months. Keep it clean, you know, you can take it off and clean everything and stuff. And I always clean mine after I use it and dry it, and then I hang it up so that it air dries. Okay. Go ahead, cringe. My brush is, it's almost coming up on 2 years. I think this July will be 2 years. I decided every July I was changing it, so that was once a year, and I decided I'm gonna drive this Seinfeld car and see how far I can go. And it's doing fine. It's not like I'm brushing teeth and going to the dentist. It's just my skin, for heaven's sakes. Cut your own hair. I have my husband cut. He cut this. He cut the ends. He'd cut the ends, and then once a year with long hair. Now short hair, that's different. But or teach him. I cut his hair. It's short. I use the horse clippers. He looks fine. It took a while to learn how, but he didn't care. It grew back. Cut my own hair. So with my long hair, once a year, I will go to a very expensive lady and get some layers and things put in. And oh, she's such a sweetheart. So if you find a nice hairdresser that understands you're only going to see them once a year, they're fine with it. Or, you know, if they're not, then they aren't the one for you. Oh, I read this in my art thing, or somewhere. Don't rinse your dishes. That's what your dishwasher's for. I scrape them good, and if there's big old dried up stuff, I'll soak them. But the dishwasher cleans them. You don't have to wash them in hot water and all that, and then put them like my sister does. Oh, and make stuff yourself. Hummus. That's really cheap to make, and it's delicious, and it's way better. You make it yourself. You buy a can of chickpeas, mash them up, and put some flavoring in there, and there's recipes all over on the internet. Now, the other thing I was going to tell you about was AARP. Join! I don't think it costs much. If it costs, you can get prescription at less money. You can stay at hotels for less money. They give you all kinds of money tips. You get a magazine, and I get a newspaper too. And then I get stupid, I don't like them, stupid little things on the email, and I just delete those because they're not as good. But this stuff has a little bit of meat to it. And 2 more ways of saving money are buy in bulk, like at a Costco or something. And then, like if you get a bunch of meat, sliced meat, break it up into Ziploc bags and freeze bags in portions that you'll use. Another thing is don't eat out a whole lot. You know, those coffees are a special treat. So, you know, once a month on those lattes and things. And as far as eating out, you don't save any money. You don't save much time either. If you have a lot of things in your kitchen, you know, you already have your spices and your eggs and that kind of thing. You can just whip out a quick dinner, or you can make breakfast for dinner, and that saves a ton of money. It's starting to rain worse, so I can't open up because I'm going to melt Jessica's nose, and I have to read you hers. Some of hers were, and this is the queen of saving. She and my mother, so it's mother, granddaughter. I think it skipped the generation, at least this hard. Entertainment. Go to a free museum, botanical garden, or gallery days. Every place has free days. Check their websites. And free TV, she has www.couchtuner.eu. And I think she gave me the link and I looked at it. And there's all kinds of TV shows you can get, like Nurse Jackie. It's getting wetter and wetter, so I'm just going to read it. Food, there's tons of coupons. Buy store brand cheaper items. I used to buy Western Family all the time until the store changed. Stock up when things are on major sale, and freeze. 2 corned beefs from St. Patty's Day are in her freezer right now. Also, go on rice and beans diet. Eat only what you have on hand for as long as you can. Great for cleaning out the fridge and the pantry. And that's really good for you. Beans and rice are a complete protein, as are peanut butter and milk. So you have to watch your proteins, especially, you know, vegetarians, which I don't know too much about because I love my meat. Clothes. Stop shopping. You have enough clothes. Why don't you wear those nice, oh, this is for me. Why don't you wear those nice pants I made you get? Mend holes in socks at least once. Usually they're too far gone once the patch has a hole. Did she live in the Depression? Warning, the following tips are hardcore and required, I have to hold it like this so the rain doesn't get it, are hardcore and require dedication to the game of not spending. That's how she treats it, the game of not spending. She has, like one of my MAC blushes that didn't work, margin, because it was frosty and I don't like that. And I keep saying, you've hit ban, you know, go ahead, you know, and it's got a little ring around it, you know, go ahead and give it to me, I'll back to MAC it. And she goes, no, it's a game, she's going to finish it. Same thing with an eyeshadow I gave her. Pets. You're going to love this. Trap street kittens. Now you have kittens. Free. Well, not so free. Spay and neuter. Buy cheapest food and multi-cat litter. She did that. I did that. That's what Delicata was. He was a wild kitty. born in the barn, and I got him while he was still tiny. So he loved me, but he was afraid of everybody else. And now she's got one down there, and she's in the city. So there's a real cat problem in Phoenix. Weddings, look at their registry. Take note on what's out of stock. And go to TJ Maxx or similar store and haunt the clearance aisles for a gem. This works, and no one will double up on the gift. She found a beautiful cake platter. Anyway, it was amazing, and the bride was so happy. Personal items. Take the sad, skinny roll of toilet paper home. See, it fits in your purse. The cleaning folks don't have to juggle the dilemma of throwing it away or cleaning around it. Everyone wins. And that's not a bad thing. If it's down to the little bits, you can use it for Kleenex or something. But in my little cottage when I'm cleaning, and it's down to less bit of I don't want to leave that in there, and I don't want to throw it out. So, use it. Don't throw it out. Use it. That's her thing, is don't throw it out. Grow your food. Hey, my lettuce is going, she lives in the city now. She's got a house with a tiny backyard. She's in Scottsdale, it's desert, but she grows. My lettuce is going to seed now, and I'm collecting them to plant for the fall cool season. Also, herbs are easy to grow and make a fancy touch to picnic hikes. When we were down there, she would pack, the carrots and the celery, but cheese, she loves brie. And she would have leaves of basil, or I want to say oregano, but I don't think it was oregano. But there were, thyme with butter on bread, especially if you make your own bread. I got tired of paying $5 a loaf for bread in the store. I make it, it takes me probably 15 minutes in my KitchenAid to it up. Then I let it rise, and I put it in the truck or the car if it's a nice sunny day, because it's warm in there, and it rises great, because, it's cold here. So then you shape it, and that takes 5-10 minutes. Then you let it rise again, and then you bake it. Bada bing, bada boom, I got 2 loaves for, whatever my flour, and there's no eggs, there's butter, water, and yeast. It's really simple. And it's a James Beard. It's a James Beard recipe. There, those are the good ones. I made another batch of laundry detergent since I had the borax and washing soda. I spent only $1.90 on the bar of Fels Naptha, and the batch lasts just over a year. Beat that, she says. Okay, so then I said, well, what's your recipe? Because she gave it to me once, I never did it. Homemade laundry soap. Well, before my card so rudely got full, I didn't finish the recipe. Jessica sent the recipe for her homemade laundry soap, and I'll just read it. Homemade laundry soap. Got it from the internet in 2011. Similar recipes are floating around. Borax, $2.73 at Target. Arm & Hammer Super Washing Soda, $3.34 at Fry's, which is a grocery store down in Phoenix area. So, grocery store. Fels Naptha Bar, $1.90 at Fry's. And then a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. You grate the bar, put it in a pot with 4 cups of water, and stir on medium heat until dissolved. Half fill the bucket with warm water. Add soap mixture. 1 cup Arm & Hammer washing soda and half a cup borax. Stir well. Fill bucket. Let sit overnight. Stir again and use half strength. That must mean half it and half water, like you take a scoop of it and maybe, I don't know. We'll have to ask Jessica what use half strength means, but probably you just don't use as big of a, like you use a tablespoon. I have those front loader washing machines, and when I had a top loader, I would put like a half a cup of liquid in it, or a scoop of powder. With my front loader, especially with jeans, for some reason I use like a teaspoon or less. So detergent lasts me a long time, just not in the dishwasher. So until next time, happy saving money, and don't forget, JBS Farms soaps bring you these videos. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.